I'm happy to welcome you to the Val de Vienne racetracks. For the fourth round in the French Championship of Drifting, the pilots are very proud to be here as part of the GT Tour. The track is looking very fast and our racers seem very excited about being on this track. We will be going into several subjects today, the first of which will be considering the Autosports Academy. This is a center used for training future racers to use the equipment such as paddle shifters. We will have other subjects that we will be exploring, for example, going around the tracks. We will be meeting with professional pilots. We will be talking about the qualifications, but also the battles that will be going on this weekend. We will be meeting with our last winner, and next we will be seeing what happened last month. The third round of the French Championship drifting was in Salbris in Sologne. The racers gave us quite a show on this magnificent sunny day. The crowds were really happy about the really high level show of talent that our race drivers gave them in this show. This is a track that I'm really, really happy with. In the final, Nicolas Delorme was against Benjamin Boulbès. It was a close battle and full of suspense, but in the end it's Benjamin Boulbès that won. I'm really pleased with my results, but I'm also really happy to see the progress of all the French racers. He came in first in qualifications and he won last month. He's going all over Europe for the drifting championship. You will recognize him easily with his BMW M3. He's using a BMW engine that is from an M5. And right now, let's meet Benjamin Boulbès. Coming in first in this championship and the third place winner in the European Championship, it's no surprise to see him winning last month. It was a flawless weekend for Benjamin Boulbès, who not only came in first, but he was also first in the qualifications. I had a problem with the steering on the track and I had to spend the whole night working with my team to get it working properly again. It was a long night of working, but Benjamin was able to count on his friends to get ready for the track race. After trying different kinds of racing, he decided that he would really prefer to do drifting. That's what he likes best. Drifting is a competition, but more than anything else, it's a great big family and full of friends. But when we're on the tracks, once our helmet is on, you forget your friends and you're back in the competition. We started with a BMW M3 320 horsepower engine that we swapped out for a BMW M5 480 horsepower engine. We changed this ourselves with my team 3 years ago. We went from a 6-cylinder engine to a V8. Thanks to this light and powerful car, Benjamin is feared on the tracks. We're taking full advantage of our time here in Val de Vienne, for example, with this magnificent Corvette that took part in the 24 Hours of Mans. Now we'll be going around the stands to see with our fans if they know what drifting is and if they know how to. During this weekend, everyone was able to discover a lot of things about drifting, and specific people were able to show us what they know about drifting. The difference between drifting and the other automotive sports is that it can only progress because it's a very spectacular kind of racing. This is something I really like. I like everyone else. I watch it on TV. You know, I've seen the films like Fast and Furious, and that's what really makes me want to drift. A well-known racer, Jean-Philippe Desraux, is going to be able to try some drifting. He is a 4-time champion in the Trophy Andros, and he's coming back to us from the championship in Pikes Peak. He knows that driving this car is going to be very different, and it's not going to be as easy as you think. It's not just because we are a racer on different kinds of tracks or on ice that we're going to be able to do this. Drifting is a totally different kind of racing. I already have my own little ideas in my head about how I'm going to get the car to drift. After some inside tips from his friend Jérôme Vassia, Jean-Philippe Desraux was really having lots of fun on the track, drifting around, having a good time. It's really not easy at all, but you know, when you're able to be one with the car that you're working with, you can get to know it and you're able to really work and get drifting. Whether it's for fun or for the show, everything is going really well. Jean-Philippe would like to participate in a race, in a championship, and why not other racers from different disciplines such as Andros or Formula One drivers. I'm here on the starting line right now with behind me the drifting area with the first turn going to the right where we can get up to 130 kilometers per hour. Instead of just talking about it, why don't we just go around and get on the track together? Jean-Philippe Desraux is in the Mustang. He started in second gear. You can see by the window that he's having a hard time getting into third gear, the time it's taking for him to get used to the clutch. In third, he puts himself into the first right turn. You can see that the car is having a little bit of a hard time to drift. The clipping points are on the outside of the track to start with. You can see the one that is just outside of the right-hand turn. Then there's a transition called a manji in Japanese. And to finish, the last turn on the left with the clipping point at the inside. The racers were able to discover the track during the one and only practice lap yesterday, and it appears to be a very fast track. It's really a very impressive show for the audience because the pilots are able to start in third or fourth gear up to 130 kilometers per hour. The adrenaline is really pumping now for the racers because they're a little bit nervous. The judges will only be keeping the top 3 of their laps for the qualifications. Drifting has 2 aspects to it, one of which being the showmanship part, where everyone is able to easily understand what's going on. It's something that we appreciate. On the other hand, the technical side of it, where we're really in the competition, is something that's difficult to understand. Drifting is a sport that's very impressive, a lot of showmanship to it, but it's still something that's really technical and takes a lot of practice. But in any case, I really have a desire to try it. The three first racers to be qualified are Boulbès, Delorme, and Buisson. This is the third time I've made first place qualifications from Bordeaux, Salbris, and now Val de Vienne, and I'm really happy about it. I'm really happy with how well I did because I have such a small engine in my car, and I didn't think I would do as well on such a fast track, so I'm really proud of my results. After the practice laps and the qualifications, now we're going to move on to the actual battles, which is what all of our racers and the whole crowd has been waiting for. The rules are fairly easy to follow. Each racer will be doing one time a follower and the next time the leader in the race. And it's the outcome of both of these times around the track that the judges will be determining who is the winner. In our first match, we have Boulbès against Ferreira, who is in the blue BMW. Boulbès has a little bit more speed, which allows him to win against Ferreira with a score of 6-4. The second time around, Boulbès is very close to Ferreira. He is able to win 6-4 and is qualified for the next round. Our next racers are Kaufmann in the blue and Pescia in the green car. Kaufmann is able to win because Pescia makes a big mistake, and that allows him to win 8-2. The second time around, Pescia makes another mistake, which is allowing Kaufmann to pass in front of him 10-0. Delay in the yellow Subaru is a lot faster than Rose. He really gets ahead of his opponent and he wins 6-4. The second lap around, Delay is still going really fast, which means that he ends up making a mistake, and so Rose is able to go ahead of him and he will win 7-3. In this round, we have Sukas in the gray BMW against Joseph in the white Nissan. Both of them are going really fast around the track, and it's making a magnificent show for the crowd. Sukas takes the lead 6-4. Joseph has a nice line going, which allows him to really get in the lead. Sukas makes a mistake in the last turn when he stops drifting, and that allows Joseph to go ahead of him 7-3. Buisson in the black BMW is making a huge mistake, and his opponent Van Horen is able to get way ahead of him, winning 10-0. The second lap is really close. Both of the pilots are doing well, but Van Horen is able to get ahead of Buisson with a score of 5-5. Sukas in the grey BMW is doing really well, a great angle, nice speed. Both of the racers are giving a great show. Sukas is able to win 6-4 against Joseph. This time around, Joseph is in the lead. Great angle, nice speed. The crowd is loving the show. He takes the lead 6-4. This means the judges are asking for a one more time. Dubois, the leader, is in the white Nissan up against Janin in the black BMW. Janin makes a small mistake in the transition and Dubois is able to outdo him 7-3. On the second lap, Dubois is really close to Janin. He's drifting really well and gets qualified 6-4. We have Delorme here racing in the small black BMW up against Lagalice in the larger blue M3 BMW. Delorme is going really fast here. He gets way ahead of his opponent, winning 7-3. Delorme is really close the second time around. He's racing really well. He's able to get qualified with a score of 6-4. Here we have Bulbes up against Zanato in his Mustang. He was not able to run yet because he won last round up against someone who abandoned the race. This time around we have lots of smoke, lots of angle, but at the end Zanato makes a huge mistake and he's going to lose 10-0. The second lap, Bulbes is really attacking this time, getting ready for the following battles. He's winning 6-4. It's a really close match here between Kaufmann and Rose in the yellow car, but Kaufmann's going to get far ahead and he will be in the lead 6-4. The second lap, Kaufmann has a great line and a faster car, which means that he's able to really get ahead of Rose, winning 7-3 and qualifying for the semifinals. Joseph here in the white Nissan up against Van Hoork is going really fast compared to his opponent. He's getting way ahead of him, winning here 7-3. On their second time around, it's really close between the two racers. They're nearly making some mistakes, but Joseph is able to get ahead of his opponent, winning 6-4 and being qualified for his very first semifinal. Here our two racers are really talented. It's a very close match, but Dubois up against Delorme will be doing a little less well than his opponent. Delorme is winning 6-4. Delorme is really going out of his way up to the max to get ahead of his opponent Dubois. Here he's going to win again 6-4 and he's qualified now for the semifinals. On this lap, Bulbes is really getting ahead of his opponent. He has a lot more angle going on. He's ahead of his opponent Kaufmann, winning 6-4. This time around, both of our racers are doing really well, really handling their cars as they're supposed to. The two pilots are going to be tied this time around, but since he did well the last time around, Bulbes will be winning, even if their score is tied at 5-5. Delorme is still racing very fast as usual. Pushes his opponent and he ends up making a big mistake. This time around, Delorme will win 9-1 against Joseph. He's going to have a really hard time making up for this mistake. The second time around, Joseph is really attacking hard here, trying to make up for his previous mistake. He's able to take the lead 7-3. Unfortunately for him, this is not enough to get him qualified. Delorme will be qualified for the finals. Kaufmann is racing really well this time around. His opponent, Joseph, commits the same mistake that he did precedently against his previous opponents. He will be losing 0-10. Kaufmann is in the lead. Joseph is still making some small mistakes this time around. Even if it's close with Kaufmann, this lets him get ahead of Joseph. He will be making a score of 6-4, bringing him up to the third place. In this final that we've really been looking forward to between Boulbès and Delorme just changed his tires, and unfortunately for him, they're still a little bit cold. He does a spin out and he will be losing with a score of 0-10 against Boulbès. The second time around, Boulbès could just get by doing a minimum effort, but he really wants to put on a show for the crowd. He's attacking really hard here. He's getting ahead of Delorme, winning 6-4, and he is our grand champion of the day.
Oui, t'as le droit. C'est du solide, hein, c'est américain. Avec les noms de nos partenaires Motul, et tu peux afficher ta place, 3e place. Bravo! Les noms Motul, bien évidemment. Et la 2e place, Benjamin Boulbès.
We prepared the car just this year and we were really hoping to get some good scores going on. We're really happy with the results we got. I'm really happy with how well I did. This is the second consecutive time I'm on a podium, and with the small means that I have, I'm really happy with this. I really had to concentrate the whole way through. It's not easy, but I managed to do it. I'm really happy with how this came out. The sun is setting here in Val de Vienne. The show is over. Thanks to all the racers for this great show they've put on. I'd like to thank my team as well for all of their hard work, and of course our sponsors as well for following us. Next stop, 17th and 18th of August in Champs-Rousse next to Grenoble for the next round. Well-known racing area in Champs-Rousse. We will be doing our next racing challenge, which is du toge, which is Japanese for a form of drifting that will be taking place on a mountain road.